Next up, I'm slotting in an easy to script game that's been taking up space on my computer since the new year. It's Fight, a game I got on offer on the Switch's eShop, so don't worry, I didn't pay full price for this. I was going to say there's no story, but there's one listed on the Nintendo website on this game's page. So some fighters are being lured down into some ruins where there's some treasure driven by their own greed, but it's a lie because at the bottom is a dude who plans to steal their life force. Whatever, we don't learn anything else about the rest of the cast. We have 15 characters, 5 stages and no arcade mode despite the name. It's just a one-on-one versus, along with survival and training. As for the gameplay, it's shit. We have 2 punch and 2 kick buttons and a full set of standing and crouching attacks, altogether around 8 to 10 moves. That's it. And the mobility is garbage, your character moves really slow. And all 15 characters share the exact same moveset with not even the slightest difference between them. Yep, we have 15 characters but only 1 moveset total. Not that any of that matters either because I discovered the best way to win. Just mash the 2 punch buttons for this rapid punch that stuns the AI long enough for you to get another one in. So without a proper arcade mode, I just decided that to complete the game I had to defeat every character with every other character at least once. This means 225 2-round fights just mashing 2 buttons. My hand was in agony by the time I was done. At this point I may as well talk about the playable characters, see if we can find any gold in this. First is Hawk, the guy in the middle of the key art and the first one on the select screen, so I guess he can be considered the main character or mascot. He's by far the blandest character in the game. Dude with the shaved head wearing shorts, gloves and nothing else. The only thing even slightly notable is the plaster over his nose and that's all. Crap. Second is Raijin. He's only slightly better, having a couple more defining features like the cone hat and the scar across the chest, but his entire face is covered in wraps, and I mean entire, even his eyes are covered. I don't know what they were going for with that one. To be honest, the combination of cone hat, covered mouth and orange clothes just make me think of Kenny from South Park's Ninja episode. Our third character is Quasar. The pinkish purple mohawk just makes me think, what if Jack 7 became a real boy? Better than Hawk, not as memorable as Raijin. A lot of descriptions are probably going to be this short. Next is Kobe. Now, I actually can't tell if this is supposed to be a bear or a humanoid dog thanks to the modelling job on his head. Is he outdoing Kuma from Tekken by saying, our bear can wear clothes on his lower body too? Or is he the successor of Kendo Coyote from Brutal Paws of Fury? He's my favourite so far, but that's a very low bar to reach. Next is Xing Tao. He's one of the few characters who always lets their mouth hang wide open all the time for some reason. I think he was supposed to make him look angry, but it just looks gormless instead. Or like he's having trouble breathing, which makes it look like this is the first fighting game old master type that's going to have a heart attack mid-fight. Then there's Rhino. Imagine having the chance to include a playable Rhino in a fighting game and then squandering that chance. Why does the Rhino have human feet and wear athletic tape on his wrists? Why does he have wrists? This is the biggest disappointment to come from this game. Our 7th character is Mantis. I'll give this guy one thing, he somehow manages to pull off the goofy moustache and the tiny bit of remaining hair combed to one side. Although, when looked at side on during gameplay, the moustache kind of makes him look like a buff Sniffit from Super Mario Bros. 2, and strangely enough, he isn't the first fighting game character to look like a buff Sniffit. Then there's Silent Fang, another one with a jaw hanging low. I honestly can't think of anything to say about this character. I guess I could question why her shorts say she's a firefighter and right above it looks like she has a Top Trumps logo on them. That's all I got. Character number 9 is Kublai, the most generic ninja design you could ever come out with. He gives me absolutely nothing to comment on. The 10th character is Draygon. He's supposed to be the main villain luring everyone into the ruins, and the final boss figure if this game had a proper arcade mode. He's not the most interesting monster design out there, but he isn't bad. But coming after Kublai, he looks like the most original fighting game character in history in comparison. Next we have Coyote. Yeah, a masked wrestler in a game where wrestling is impossible as there are no throws or grabs. And they picked the dullest shade of pink possible for his colour scheme, as if his costume was originally white and went in the wash with some red clothes. Then there's the Leech. This guy is basically a bootleg Cabal, hiding his gross deformed face behind a gas mask. Just swap out the horrific burns for cancerous growths. He at least looks like he had more thought put into him than the others, but then the effect is kind of ruined below the waist with his spotless, clean, shiny leather trousers. I feel this guy could have actually gone somewhere in a better game. The 13th character is Vapor Storm. He's an alien and kind of a bland one. Once again, everyone has to have the same body, which limits any kind of alien design you want to make. I also get confused looking at his head, like, what part of it is his face? Does he have one? That being said, I at least appreciate the attempt to make something that stands out. But then we go back to forgettableness with Hero. In the half year between playing the game and making this video, I'd forgotten this guy completely. He shows the problem that comes with everyone sharing the same animations when you try a different body type. Just look at the way his stomach turns halfway up when he punches. Ever had any toys where the articulation was in the stomach? That's what it looks like on a real human. And then our last character is Paris Cater, another of the Hanging Jaw gang. Like Kublai, there really is nothing to say about this character. I don't even know what type of character they were going for based on the outfit. There, done. That's fight. That's all there is to do. I didn't think Math Grand Prix would be dethroned this quick, but this is definitely the worst game I've played for this show. In fact, it may be the worst game I've ever played in my life. Math Grand Prix at least had the excuse of being from the early 80s when gaming was in its infancy, and did its job of putting maths in a crap race. But this was released in 2020. It's the newest game I've ever covered on this channel, and we have plenty of indie fighting games with actual quality and more than just one very limited moveset. Whatever minuscule amount of money I paid for this while it was on offer was still too much. I've played much better games that cost even less.